The idea of the book came a few days after the Southport stabbings, and then the demonstrations on the streets. That's when I said, right, things have changed in this country now. People are on the streets, people are angry. When they killed and blew up 22 kids on my street in Manchester city centre 7 years ago, no one did anything. We got together and we all sang Don't Look Back in Anger. But 3 kids are stabbed to death in Southport. The country's changed now and people were angry and demanded change. And I thought, this is the time to write that book. Um, and I wrote it for a particular audience. I wrote the book, I mean, it's for anybody to read. But I've had some people ask me, why is it called England, My England? Why is it not called Great Britain, My Great Britain? And I answer that on the first page, on the first introduction. It's because I'm English. United Kingdom, Great Britain's 4 countries. And those countries are for those people in those countries to save. It's not for me as an Englishman to save Scotland or Wales or Northern Ireland or even the Union, because in Scotland, almost half the people in Scotland wanted to leave the Union a few years ago. So how can I save the Union when half the Scots don't want to save it? In Wales, 25% of people in Wales want to go it alone and leave the United Kingdom. So how can I save Wales when a quarter of the population don't want to save it? And same with Northern Ireland. A third of the people in Northern Ireland actually want to join a foreign country. So I need to start with England and then we can save the United Kingdom, or England can leave the United Kingdom and go it alone. I also wrote it for the many men, Englishmen, who contact me online and say things like, oh, thanks for doing that post-it, thanks for writing that article. I agree with you, but there's nothing I can do. And I go, well, there's lots of things you can do. Yeah, but you don't understand. I'm married, I've got a wife, I've got a mortgage, I've got kids. There's nothing I can do, so I just stay quiet. And the answer is, well, stay quiet, but you need to understand you're a coward. That's a definition of a coward, knowing you should be doing something and you're too afraid to do it. That's a definition of a coward. And we need English men to find a backbone and not do things stupid. Not to purposely lose your job working for a multinational because suddenly you're not going to put your pronouns in your bio. If they force you to do it, then you do it. But doing nothing is not an option anymore. And we've got too many English people, men and women, who do nothing and just say, there's nothing we can do. The country's over, the country's finished. I'm looking at moving to Cyprus or to Poland. And my answer is, you're part of the problem. 1 minute you're complaining about immigrants coming here, and the next breath you're telling me you're going to become an immigrant and go somewhere else. So we criticise these illegal immigrants for abandoning their own country, their family, their friends, and coming here illegally and not taking responsibility for their homeland. And you're going to do exactly the same thing, abandon your homeland and run away like a coward. And these are difficult things to say to people, but I'm tired of listening to cowards, so I tell them now, you're a coward, you're part of the problem. And I couldn't write a book about that. I couldn't write a book called You're a Coward. Nobody would buy it. So I've had to tone the language down a little bit and write a little bit more sensibly and try to explain to people why we're in this mess and what they can do as an individual. Not creating a new political party, not doing all these wonderful things that would help. But what can you do as just an individual living in England? And that's what the last chapter is really about, because if we start doing stuff, things will change.
No, I agree. And no, you couldn't write a book called You're a Coward and You're Part of the Problem, but Morrissey could write a song about it.